Okay, this video is probably going to ruffle some feathers, even amongst my own colleagues. And if it does, so be it. Okay. I stand by what I say here, and I will not apologize for having my own thoughts and viewpoints. Now, as someone who's part Chinese myself, I feel I ought to add my 2 cents to all this anti-China stuff that's been going around, which reminds me of all the anti-Russia crap last year. And this whole trade war between the US and China, the tariffs, the IP theft nonsense, it's all a small part of the bigger picture. Now, I've mentioned in a previous video that China has actually created an alternative to the petrodollar. Okay. And their One Belt, One Road project has become a de facto alternative to the IMF. It's not exactly like the IMF, but it's similar in some ways. And this is what the bankers, global elitists, Zionists, Khazarians, whatever you want to call them. Okay, this is what they're afraid of. And no, I don't buy this claim that China's One Belt, One Road project being a Zionist control system. That's nonsense. Okay, they already have a system like that in place. They don't need the Chinese to build one for them. And then there's Huawei, Chinese telecommunications company. Now, this company has created mobile phones the NSA can't hack into. So yeah, America's alphabet agencies definitely don't want American citizens buying these phones. They're also ahead in 5G. Now 5G is another issue that I won't get into in this video. But going back to Huawei, yeah, the chief financial officer of this company was quote unquote arrested by Canadian authorities over some made up charges under orders from the US. So Canada's doing America's kidnapping for them, and they've been holding her hostage ever since. So yes, the Anglo-Zionists are so shit scared of China's rise that they actually have their fake alternative media shills push mainstream narrative about Hong Kong. Which goes to show that alternative media isn't so alternative at all. What's happening in Hong Kong is basically a US-China proxy war. CIA-funded NGOs are taking actual problems that Hong Kongers have and using them to instigate all these riots. They've done this with other countries as well. Libya, Syria, Ukraine, Nicaragua, Venezuela, the list goes on and on. It's the same regime change script going on in Hong Kong right now. The whole freedom and democracy line was also used in those other countries I mentioned. They're so scared of China's rise that there's even talk of bringing Russia back into the G7. So after all those talks of Russian meddling, Russian interference, Russian collusion, Russian aggression, Russia this, Russia that, Russia, now all of a sudden Russia isn't so bad anymore? Man, what a joke. They're so scared of China's rise that they feel the need to do this. Is alternative media mentioning this? So now, pro-China social media accounts are getting the same treatment as 9/11 truthers, big pharma skeptics, people who expose all these fake mass shootings in the US. They also did the same to pro-Russian, Iranian, Syrian, and Venezuelan accounts. So now it's the pro-Chinese crowd's turn to get scroogled. Gee, that is so Chinese, isn't it? Yeah, China has censorship too, just like the so-called free world. Oh, speaking of Iran. Yeah. China signed a huge oil investment deal with Iran. Oh, this won't make certain people happy. So because of this, look for more US meddling in Taiwan, Hong Kong, South China Sea, Huawei. We might get free Tibet again, and maybe even more tariffs. And they're still pushing this hoax too. And I never believed this story, not even for a microsecond. 1 million people. Man, how do you imprison 1 million people in prison camps? Shouldn't there be an uprising or something if this was really taking place? I'm thinking Xinjiang concentration camps are actually located right next to Iraq's weapons of mass destruction. Confucius Institutes being shut down on campuses across the North American continent. Now, these are college/university courses which teaches Chinese language and culture. The fact that there are calls for these courses to be shut down shows Confucius Institutes are teaching things that certain people don't want students to know about. Either that or these people are just so damn paranoid. And here's the real reason why the US pulled out of the INF Treaty. Okay, they want to deploy INF-banned missile launchers in the Asia Pacific. And China's the target. You know, I can probably go on and on and on, and I'm sure I've missed a few things, but I don't want to make this video so long, so... Now, I'm not going to say the Chinese government are angelic, spiritually enlightened people. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But the point is, there's a hybrid war being waged on China, and the protest in Hong Kong is a part of that. I've actually spoken to my aunt about Hong Kong, and I'm happy to hear that she at least got the gist of what's going on there. She definitely doesn't want to go back there now, and I don't blame her. So yeah, China's the new Red Scare now. Don't believe me? Check this out. I got this from Twitter. Don't give the Chinese government your personal information, email, cell phone address, or sign your name on their petition. China is quietly invading our energy grid and coming for our Ohio jobs. Don't sign their petition. If China had their way, Ohio will be left in the dark. Don't sign their petition. Decline to sign. Save our jobs. If you see a circulator, report them to our hotline. 888-308-2606. That's 888-308-2606. Oh yeah, don't forget to look for Reds under the bed too.